Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses. And before I go any further and before you argue with me, you cannot convince me that the master lyricist of our generation, akin to Shakespeare, the Easter egg master of our generation, is not aware of what her entire optics and lyrics and album and everything is giving at this very moment.
As a liberal who listens to Taylor Swift, I'm getting sick of like the people who are saying, this is her trad wife era, this is the MAGA agenda. You sound insane.
Before you suggest that this was supposed to be a satirical album, I would like to remind you how she feels about this album in her own words.
World to me to have this creative experience where like we knew that we had to bring the best ideas we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I also know the pressure I'm putting on this record by saying that, but I don't care because I love it that much. There's not other ones coming. This is the record I've been wanting to make for a very long time.
I'll try to rapid fire this as fast as I can so that my video is not an hour long, but we're going to start with the rollout of the album, the announcement of the album on our boyfriend's football podcast. Our boyfriend who plays for the NFL, who we are now aligning our brand with, who is one of the most racist and problematic industries in our country. Yes. Listen, I don't know how long Taylor Swift's been doing this, but I know it's been a pretty good amount of time. She's worked pretty hard for her career. But why are we sharing what you are saying is the best piece of work you've ever put out, and you're going to share it with a man? You're going to announce it with a... This is where the optics are starting. We are creeping our way down the conservative pipeline, and before you say that's a reach, I'm not done. We all know what's coming next, the engagement. They got engaged as a package deal with the album rollout. Yes, they did. The album was announced, and 2 days later, it was announced that they were engaged. We could talk about how manufactured that is. We could talk about how inauthentic it is. We could also talk about how it is yet another step towards the conservative pipeline. Now, if you're unaware about her history with the Orange Man, he didn't like her very much. He, in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift. She's a childless cat lady. I want you to bank that for later in the video. But once this engagement happened, we had a public statement put out by Pumpkin Man. And he said, wow, Taylor Swift, you know what? She's a great person. She's a terrific person even. And I'm very happy for them. I wish them best in their marriage. Okay. Now, I'm not claiming that Taylor Swift can control what that man says or that they are partnering in these words. No, I'm not saying that. But the U.S. has a history of using pop culture to further a political agenda. She's doing what he wants everyone else to do, is to get married and have white babies. What I do know that she can control is the music that she puts out. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Canceled is an anthem for those who are over being politically correct, and we're breaking down the wall of shame that it means to be canceled. Taylor Swift says it's okay now to be canceled, and that's actually cool. And maybe if I'm canceled, I could be her friend. See how that, see where we're taking steps. When I first heard the lyric, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage, if that is not the most dog whistly shit I've ever heard in my life. Moving on to wish list, let's take a moment for these lyrics. They want a fat ass and a baby face. They want freedom. They want 3 dogs they call their kids. But I just want you. Have a couple kids, have the whole block looking like you. And then say that again. I want to have your white babies, and I actually want our entire neighborhood to be racially homogenous. She went through this entire thing with Trump, right? About how she and her fan base did not like being called childless cat ladies. And now Taylor is calling y'all childless cat ladies because she's about to pop out some kids. And you know what's coming next? Taylor Swift line of baby product. You too could pop out some kids and live in a racially homogenous neighborhood. This song was very much giving Pick Me. I thought that we learned our lesson with the she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. The Pick Me song of all Pick Me songs. This is that in this different font, but worse. Do you understand? Not to mention the blatant disrespect that it is to put a song about Travis Kelce's over a Jackson 5 interpolation. This all feels so blatantly obvious to me, the pipeline that we are sliding down, especially with her bestie. The same week that the album was announced, Lana Del Rey came out with this cover. The fuck? I feel like I'm on the show Pranked and also on Black Mirror. It's a crossover episode. This is where I'm going to add, the comment that Travis Kelce made about him being honored to play football for Orange Man. And this is where I'm also going to answer your question. Well, does she owe us her political opinions? She's just a pop star. Well, yes, she does. She is a white woman with one of the most massive platforms in our world today. In Miss Americana, she platformed herself as an ally and monetized off of that. So do I expect a white woman with the biggest platform in the world to make moves with politics? Yeah, I do.
Guys, this is one of those surprising opinions I've had this week. Well, this woman has been trending all over social media because of her criticism and also like a crash out to what Taylor Swift's new album has made her feel. Many people are asking themselves, is this a valid crash out, or is this woman becoming too much? Or not just this woman, are the Swifties becoming too much to a point where they do not want this woman to live her own life? Look, from the sentiment that you've heard from her, it's like she's insinuating that Taylor Swift right now is pushing the right-wing agenda, or more like a conservative woman era, which is funny enough because I don't know, how should a woman live? That is exactly the question that we're gonna ask ourselves in today's video. Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm gonna be the host for today's show. As you've read from the title and thumbnail of this video, we're actually looking at this woman who has crashed out, a Swiftie fan crashed out at her personal celebrity idol or someone she looks up to because of pushing an agenda that she feels is right-wing, while she herself is a progressive or a liberal. There is a lot to unpack, from exactly how should a woman live, how should a conservative woman live, how should a liberal woman live, and how should we treat celebrities. Should we follow exactly everything they push for, and do what celebrities stand for actually mean that they stand for, or are they just pushing this agenda to favor their own brand? What happens when celebrities no longer support the cause that the people or their fans support? Should they have the right to choose exactly that, or are they supposed to die with what they are pushing their fans to believe in? Are public figures more like curative, or are they just radical? But before we get deep into it, let's continue listening to more opinions and see how Americans think about this crash out. Let's go.
You sound insane listening to an album where she wrote about love, saying that because she wrote this specific song, she's secretly trad wife. And who gives a if she's secretly trad wife? You can be trad wife and still be liberal, because guess what? The liberal side is about letting women choose what they want to do. I'm like sick of the political talk with this album, because you're not going to come out and say that you're supporting a candidate for their presidency and then that candidate loses and then it's like, oh, secretly she's mad. Why would she do that? Literally, I am not understanding where this whole theory that Taylor and Travis are secretly MAGA. I don't understand it. It's the weirdest thing to me. And my thing is, it's not like you personally know them and like they've personally confessed to you that they're not actually liberal. They're just pretending to be liberal. There are plenty of conservative artists and just artists out there who have spoken out about being conservative and being MAGA, and their careers are doing just fine. So the idea that she would do this to try and gain fame is insane to me.
I came across a video today of someone calling Taylor Swift's new album Republican coded because
it obviously is, and if you can't realize that, you're a victim of the media literacy crisis. If only for the song Cancelled, where she, the billionaire, paints herself as the victim of cancel culture. People rightfully pointed out the person she was dating did a racist thing. But beyond that, that's enough. That's obvious. Making, number one, that, and number two, an album about like an idealized form of like what is a typical American family, ideally, of like living in a suburb, being in a monogamous relationship, finding peace and joy, and basically just kind of being a housewife. Those are Republican virtues. I'm not saying they're bad things, but they are things that Republicans and conservatives and sometimes liberals use. And ignoring that they are used in that way in our political climate is not like a gotcha moment. It is a lack of media literacy. So yeah, Taylor Swift's new album is clearly political, right? Even if it's not intentionally so. And it is political in exactly the politics that likes to hide itself, which is conservatism. Further, doing this album, which is basically like a victory lap that is bad, all people are literally being disappeared by a Gestapo, there is a genocide going on, and rising fascism in America is distasteful. It is distasteful to release an album that, and have not commented on any of the bad shit going on, that celebrates how ideal and good your life is. I'm not saying you can't do that, but you have to do so awarely. And failing to do that, does normalize the state of existence you're in right now.
Taylor Swift is handing the conservative agenda on a silver platter to the masses.
I have been thinking a lot about how the left can be more persuasive and how the left can convince more people to vote for Democrats and progressive candidates. Because in order to protect people, in order to protect marginalized groups, we have to win elections. There is no amount of online activism that can protect people if we fail to win elections. And to win elections, you have to appeal to the general public. So I have to wonder how it must look to an independent or to a moderate Democrat, or just people who aren't that engaged in politics, for the left to be saying that Taylor Swift, somebody who endorses Democrats every single year, that her new album is a conservative pipeline. And even worse, for one of this creator's examples to be that Taylor Swift is racist because she's excited to have kids and she's excited for those kids to look like her fiance. I hate to say it, but this is kind of the left-wing equivalent of when Republicans said it was woke that the green M&M wasn't dressed sexy anymore. In that any normal person hears that take and thinks it's insane. Because most people want to have kids and they are not going to understand why anybody thinks it's racist to be excited to have kids and excited for your kids to look like the person you love. And furthermore, it is very bad politics for us to position ourselves as being against enjoying very popular things like football and Taylor Swift and starting a family. Please do not let Republicans run away with being the party that lets you enjoy things. They're already saying that they're the party of family values and that liberals hate children. Why are you handing them an example of that? Because a lot of people who are not that politically tapped in are going to see that video and they're going to say, well, maybe I am a conservative because I want to start a family and I like football and I like Taylor Swift. And this is not even a defense of Taylor Swift. This is just me begging the left to not become a caricature of what the right says we are. I can literally picture a Republican at a rally saying, the left thinks you're racist for watching football and listening to Taylor Swift. Can't you hear it? That line is like straight out of Donald Trump's mouth. The video that I'm stitching does not represent any of the Democrats or progressives that I know in real life. But that video has a lot of likes because saying insane things online is very popular. But I do not want the left to get into the habit of branding us all as killjoys who think that watching football and listening to Taylor Swift are right-wing behavior. The messaging needs some work, you guys.
Predictably so, Swifties who are upset with the takes that a lot of us have, they're upset and they are finding my other social media account and hurling racial slurs at Black women in my comment sections. The apple is not falling far from the tree here. The way that none of this is surprising, this is such a predictable response from people who are allergic to stepping outside of themselves and considering a different perspective. These are points that are not new. I am not the first person to say them. None of the other white women on this app are the first people to say them. No one ever wants to listen to it to begin with unless it's coming out of someone who looks like me. And this is the entire issue with the album. Taylor started dating Travis, and the Swifties were jumping into Kayla's Instagram comments, his ex-girlfriend, who is a Black woman, hurling racial slurs at her. And your queen did not put a stop to that. And instead, she is essentially encouraging the behavior by putting out an album shading her herself. You all can try to skirt around all of our points, but no matter how hard you try, the facts are the facts. And this is all you have in your arsenal, right? When someone offers you a different viewpoint, offers you an opportunity to step outside of yourself and think about the world outside of your own experience, the only thing you know how to do is to find someone who does not look like you and shit on them. Attempt to shit on them. It is so tired. You are being forced to sit in your discomfort of what you are complicit in, and it does not feel good. You are trying to find somewhere to put that. And if that is not the behavior of someone who hangs a red hat in their closet, I don't know what is.
This woman's take is insane. You've listened to how she has explained her points, and also other speakers who some have backed her and some are against or opposing her opinions, and are here today wanting to debunk what she has said exactly. So according to me, I think the liberal woman's strength or power lies in the ability to evolve. Her role is meant to challenge. There is the idea of reflecting and also to grow, not just staying on a single mold all her life. And that's exactly what I think is going through Taylor Swift's life right now. Well, I've tried to look at a liberal woman's life cycle and it's really insane. I want to read it in a few, but right now I just want to speak about the woman, and I think her crash out to me is partly valid, partly not valid. Why I think is valid? Because I think Taylor Swift has also played with fans' emotions and she knows how fans are like. When we say that trans fans are cult, like Swifties are also like that. There's a toxic nature in that fan base, and also that overly loving where they feel like they're entitled to live in her life. It's like one of those which Gen Z says right now, they call it parasocial life, where you live vicariously through another person. It's not the right thing to do. And I think that her emotions have definitely been triggered in a way, because whatever Taylor Swift has been making them believe for the longest is not what she is practicing right now. Apart from her and other people who support her opinion, others say that Taylor Swift in the past has supported the LGBTQ plus rights. She has rooted for voter registration and also has been an advocate for the reproductive freedom of women. It can't be entirely said that she is completely drifting from the cause that she once supported. And also it's important to note that her personal life does not negate her political stance, where constantly expecting activism or expecting constant activism from a celebrity is completely unrealistic, because they can change at any time. This is just what other people think, other than the woman and people that support her on what Taylor Swift is on and about. I just want to read out the life cycle of a liberal woman so that we can understand why this woman is emotionally hurt. So this is what they say. The first stage is always early stage of awakening, where there is exposure to injustice, inequality, or exclusion, which they begin questioning the norms, gender roles, race, class, and sexuality. And then number 2 is the activism and identity. It engages in protest, advocacy, or community work, which builds intersectional awareness, where there is feminism, anti-racism, LGBTQ plus solidarity. And then the third one is reflection and evolution. This moves beyond binaries, embraces nuances, complexity, and empathy, where they learn to balance personal choices with systemic critique. And the last one is that there is a legacy and mentorship, where it uplifts others, they share knowledge and adapt to new movement. There is also the thing of understanding that being liberal isn't static, it's a lifelong commitment to justice. From how I read from these stages, I feel like it's all about activism from the first point to the last one, which is a good thing, but also it brings the negative aspect of constantly seeing the negative in something. Even a slight thing that you could say, let's just on this, they feel angered by it and they feel obligated to always stand against something that is against the progressive ideology, which it affects them. Look, like for instance, this woman right here, when she sees Taylor Swift is about to give birth, when she says pop babies, she's completely against it, because she thinks that Taylor Swift should get pregnant and get abortion right away just to stand for the cause, quote unquote. But according to her, she feels that way because that is standing with the liberal mindset. Interesting, right? We need to get it that celebrity feminism is always performative. It's curated and it's not radical. It's almost like a fake lifestyle. We've always learned this from our childhood, but since being teens and also growing to this Gen Z era, so many people feel like the celebrities live the life that they desire and that they live the perfectionist lifestyle, only to not realize that there are things that are not shown on camera and there are other behaviors that celebrities have in their personal life. Taylor Swift's choices are also personal. People are failing to recognize that one can separate political stance and also personal lifestyle. Of course, I can believe in this political cause, but I can live completely different life. I have a right to do so. I have a freedom to do so. So how I portray myself in public may not be how I present myself in a private life. Maybe this is what Taylor Swift has been doing, and just because it has come to light right now, and this woman has now become confused as to why or as to how the cause that she believes in has completely changed because of her role model, quote unquote. It also shows how believing in celebrity purity can also backfire. It's exactly what I was explaining in the last sentence, because if you constantly believe that how a celebrity lives is how you should live and how it should affect your daily life, then you are on the wrong. You could completely be proven wrong by how these celebrities can just take sides any moment or switch sides at any moment. What you've been believing in the whole of your life could just change in a heartbeat. As to whether this woman's crash out could be valid or not, that's just about you and how you think about it. But I think Taylor Swift believing in, giving birth and also believing in just living the right way isn't showing that she's completely going conservative or she's trying to influence liberal women to go conservative. I just feel like that's exactly how a woman should live. Or is there any other way that a woman should live? You guys let me know in the comment section down there below. It's at this point that I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Please don't be shy to share them in the comment section down there below. Also, don't forget to go and check the creators that are featured in this video today. Go to the TikTok account, follow, like their videos. For this video, make sure you smash a huge thumbs up button, consider subscribing, turn on post notifications so that you may not miss my next upload. Danny here, signing out. Peace.